So, I was in the bathroom the other day, taking care of my natural needs when I remembered some old videos I used to watch. In them, the artist drew a character based on its description, without knowing who it was about. My main issue with those videos, though, was that they use very easily recognizable characters, such as Voldemort or Kratos from God of War. So the artist's interpretation gets corrupted. I didn't want that. I wanted a challenge, having no idea who I was drawing. But there was a problem. I couldn't do it on my own. I would need a partner in crime, someone to write the description and make them hard for me to guess. Coincidentally, this topic came about when I was texting with a friend, and she offered, along with her sister, to fulfill that role. I honestly believe they did way too good of a job, and when I say way too good of a job, I mean it. But anyway, we'll get to that later. So there they embark on their mission to find a character whose description I wouldn't be able to guess too easily. They texted me the next day to let me know they were done. I jumped into a call with my friend, and there she sent me the first character. Her description was the following: tall, fit man, white spiky hair and dark goatee. He has tanned skin, a playful smirk, and always wears a smart suit. His vest is beige, and it has vertical stripes. His shirt is deep teal, and his tie is white. Also, he wears a seeing aid with red lenses. Lastly, he has two piercings on each ear. The more I read the text out loud, the louder I scream inside. I couldn't think of anything. I had, indeed, no idea who it was about, and I bet you all won't know either. So the first thing I did was to write the description line by line in the canvas and then open Pinterest to get references for the smart suit, beige vest and deep teal shirt. I tried sketching a full body, but I quickly realized it wasn't viable, especially if it was going to do everything in one evening. Yes, I did all three of them in a single day. It was a very bad idea, you will see why. I discarded it and started a new sketch, with the intention to draw a bust this time, and starting with my strong suit, faces. It's the thing I enjoy and I have practiced most, especially this last year. I knew beginning with the face and following with the body would be the easiest path for me to capture what I had in mind, and then, once the foundation was laid, I could add the small details of the description. I looked for angular and long shapes for the face, since that would give me the tall fit vibes I wanted. Then I gave him the playful smirk. The first character that came to mind here was Sherman, the drummer and librarian from Phineas and Ferb, but after searching him up, I realized there were too many things that didn't fit, so I accepted my defeat and moved on. As I was defining the hairline, ears and dark circles, I thought of another character, Dante from Devil May Cry, which turned out to be a stupid guess after I looked it up, since he only had 3 things in common with the description. I continued drawing, sketching the hair, suit and pose he would have. I especially focused on the shapes and wrinkles on his clothes. The references were very helpful for that. Once the sketch was done, it was time for the line art. I wasn't trying to make it too clean, I was looking for something sketchier, since I personally like it better. I did want to emphasize a few key shapes on the face, like the ones below the corner of the mouth, the cheekbone and the nose, but aside from that, it was mainly going over the previously finished sketch. When I hit the sketch layer, I noticed the line art was too thin in some places, so I took my time to go over it. Later, I added a few occlusions to give depth to the drawing. For those that might not know, occlusions are areas of maximum darkness where almost no light can reach. When those were done, and after adding a few more details, I realized I hadn't done the suit stripes, so I jumped to those. With the line art taken care of, I lassoed the thing and filled it with a neutral grey so I could apply the colors more comfortably. With a sharper brush, I started to put down the flat colors with some details in the glasses. Then, with an airbrush, I applied a reddish color in the center of the face and a bluish around the jaw area. I also added a subtle gradient in the suit and hands. Lastly, to give it the final touch, I covered it with a blue multiply layer so it seemed like a shadow, except for the streak of light I made by erasing some of it. And with a final multiply layer, I added more specific shadows. This is how it turned out. Alright, so this looks nothing like the original character. I was honestly left speechless when my friend told me who it was, especially because it's a character I like and I know well. Godot from Ace Attorney. I'm personally really happy with the result, which unfortunately won't stay the same for the two others. And I think this design could perfectly be in the game and fit pretty well, something my friend and her sister agreed with. Just before reading the second description, my friend's sister joined the Discord call, and after giving her approval to the first character, she apologized in advance for what was to come. I was like, I didn't know it yet, but those words would gain a lot more weight as time went by. After their warnings, they sent me the second description. Tall, slim and fit woman with blonde shaved hair, except for a long lock that falls along her face. She has tan skin, green lips, a white teardrop below her left eye and a red sigil on her forehead. The sigil represents the idea of an ocular hieroglyph secreting a drop. She has elven ears, long nose and brown eyes. She wears a navy sleeveless tight-fitted top and a baggy pants of the same colors, both with golden accents. She uses reddish-orange clothes as a belt. She has white bandages wrapped around her arms from the wrist up to the elbow. Also, she wears a black glove on her left hand and she has 3 red ring accessories around her neck and 3 other smaller ones around her single lock of hair. This is where they made a fatal mistake. You've seen, I've beaten 3 The Legend of Zelda games this year: Skyward Sword, Breath of the Wild and Link's Awakening. So they were pretty fresh in my memory. Especially Skyward, which I talked about a lot with my friend. Because of that, with the description of the skin, tattoos, elf ears and long nose alone, my mind already went to Impa from Skyward. I put all my faith in it being her. So following the same process I had used before, I started with the face, shaping the head and focusing on the highlighted features like the nose or the elf ears. Then I went with the body, looking for a more relaxed pose. Here's when I began to notice I wasn't as active and focused as I was with the first character, since it was a bit late and I had been working a lot previously. So the quality of the sketch went down a little bit, but I didn't want to let that stop me. So when the sketch was done, I moved on to the line art. I caught myself being a bit more careless and slower than before, and I also added less occlusions than before, which hurt the final result. But ignoring those problems, it wasn't so bad. Once again, I used a grace base to then slowly but surely apply it to the flat colors, using the same gradient tricks I had made use of before on the face. I added a bit more life to the drawing and lastly, I gave it some simple shadows. As I finished, they told me the character, and it was, in fact, Skyward Impa. I don't personally think it was a bad result, but I do think I could have done something better. The real trouble would come with the third character, and I realized it as soon as I read The description: tall, skinny, fit guy with pale skin and blonde, medium-length hair. His eyes are blue, he has bangs. He has Dracula-like lapels on his ornamented navy starry cloak. He wears a grey fantasy vest with a dark turtleneck undershirt, and on top, a strange cross-shaped blue jewel that covers his chest. On the right side of his face he styles a black mask with blue veins. He wears elbow-length fantasy knight dark gloves. I was so lost with this description, I didn't have a clue about who it could be while I was reading it. Not only that, I didn't even know how I could put it all together, because there were too many things that didn't make any sense to me. I was utterly lost. But I didn't want to waste any more time, so I jumped right into it. As I went on with the drawing, I had even less of an idea of who it could be or how to even picture the character, which made my design more chaotic. While I was drawing, it occurred to me that this kind of design fit pretty well with the Fire Emblem saga, but there's no way I could know the specific character, given there's so many of them. That added to my tiredness, and the late hour meant the drawing didn't turn out to be all that good. Still completely lost, and seeing the drawing hadn't turned out how I would have liked, I quickly applied color and some shadows to finish it up. I didn't like it at all, and I believe I could have done a way better job. To top it all, I couldn't think of a single guess for this description. So, utterly defeated, I asked for the answer and it was one I literally couldn't have ever actually guessed. Dainsleif was the name, and to be honest, I had no clue who he was. I didn't know him, so when I looked him up on Google, I was speechless. I really liked his design and I realized how little imagination I had put into my interpretation, and how much I could have done. So, I picked up my things and I tipped my hat to them, wanting to thank them for the work. Or so was my intention, if it wasn't for my friend's sister breaking their headphones and making it impossible for them to hear me. Okay, this challenge was lots of fun. I have to thank my friend for helping me and her sister for joining as well. I honestly learned some things I'm hoping to try soon in my upcoming works. And sorry for my bad English. It's my third language and I don't speak it very well. Thank you all for sticking up despite my terrible English. I appreciate it a lot. It would be great if you could leave a like and a comment letting me know if you guessed any of the characters or none at all, since it would show me if you liked the video, and that makes me happy. I might or might not upload another video like this after this one, depending on how much it takes to edit and how it feels. Anyway, sending hugs to everyone and I hope you like it. Bye!